My mother always said family was everything, right up until the day she publicly deleted me from hers. Not by accident, not in a moment of anger, but in a perfectly crafted Mother's Day message praising her successful children, and leaving out the one daughter who worked herself numb to keep a roof over her head after my father died. What she didn't know was that erasing me would start a chain reaction, one that would unravel her image, expose her priorities, and end with her begging for my help, after years of calling me an embarrassment. If you've ever felt underestimated, ignored, or treated like the disappointment in your family, hit that subscribe button. Drop a like if you believe being blue-collar doesn't make you lesser, just real. And tell me in the comments, have you ever been treated like you didn't count? Now, let's dive into a story where justice isn't served loudly, but slowly, quietly, and with absolute clarity. My name is Sarah Hayes. I'm 25, and depending on who you ask, I'm either the backbone of my family or the stain on its reputation. To my mother, I'm the latter. My dad died when I was 19. He was warm and funny, and the only person who truly understood me. When he was gone, the bills came like tidal waves: mortgage, car, medical debt, utilities. My siblings were already off chasing degrees and shiny futures. Someone had to stay behind and keep the lights on. That someone was me. I took the night shift at River & Frozen Foods, a factory on the edge of our Ohio town. It was loud, freezing, smelled like garlic powder and freezer burn. Every shift left my shoulders throbbing, my hair smelling like spices, my hands dry and cracked. But the mortgage got paid. My mother never saw that part. To her, my steel-toe boots and hairnet weren't symbols of sacrifice. They were symbols of failure. I still remember the barbecue 2 years ago. Some aunt asked, "So, Sarah, what are you doing these days?" Before I could answer, my mother laughed, and said, "Oh, Sarah's just helping out at a local place for now. She's still figuring herself out." She couldn't even say the word factory. When I tried correcting her, she hissed in my ear, "Why can't you be more like your siblings? This job is embarrassing." The words slid into my chest like cold needles, and I stupidly swallowed them. I told myself she'd see my value one day. I didn't know Mother's Day was coming. And with it, the moment she would make her feelings official. It was my lunch break. I was sitting on an overturned crate behind the loading dock, numb fingers wrapped around my phone. I told myself I didn't care if I heard from my family. Elite. A notification popped up. Family Hayes group chat. My chest tightened. Maybe, just maybe, my mom would say something kind. "Love you all, even you, Sarah." But instead I opened the message and felt the world tilt. My mother had written, "Mother's Day dinner with my successful kids only. Mark, Dr. Hayes saving lives. Emma, creative director making the world beautiful. A Lily, our future lawyer. I'm so proud of my accomplished children. Dinner at 6:30. She tagged all 3 of them. My name wasn't mentioned. Not even a pity heart emoji. It was like watching your own obituary in real time. Reactions started popping up. Mark flexed a bicep emoji. Emma added sparkles and hearts. Lily sent "Can't wait, Mom." No one said, "Where's Sarah?" No one even noticed I was missing. And then my phone buzzed again. A video call from Mom. Her smiling contact photo looked like a mask. I knew exactly what she wanted, to gaslight me into believing I was overreacting. I let it ring until it died. Seconds later, a text arrived. "Hope you understand. Tonight is just about celebrating achievements. You know you're always part of the family. Always part of the family. Just not proud enough to be publicly acknowledged." Have you ever watched your own mother type out a message that confirms you are optional? My silence was the only answer I gave. After my shift, I drove home in the dark, the radio barely audible under the roar in my head. I sat at my tiny kitchen table with a notebook and drew 2 columns. Stay connected and cut ties. Under stay connected, I wrote, "Holidays, maybe she'll accept me someday, not being the bad daughter." Under cut ties, I wrote, "No more humiliation, no more begging for scraps, peace, a life I choose, not one I owe." The right side filled faster. And then, like fate, the family chat lit up with pictures from their Mother's Day dinner. My mother smiling between her doctor son and creative director daughter. Lily posing with flowers. Caption: Mom deserves the best. Proud of this family. Under one photo, Mom commented, "My 3 shining stars." Again, 3. Like I never existed. Then private messages arrived from Mark and Emma. "Mom didn't mean it that way. Don't be dramatic. Just show up with career stuff next year, and she'll include you." They weren't checking on me. They were checking on the family image. My decision came quietly, like ice forming along the edges of a lake. I screenshotted the message, saved it in a locked album labeled receipts, then muted the group chat for a year, and blocked my mother. For the first time in my life, a boundary existed. Without the noise of my family drowning me, I found clarity. I doubled down at the factory, not to make my mother proud, but to make me proud. When my manager, Rachel, told me the company reimbursed technical courses, I signed up. Night classes. Front row. Mia, my coworker turned best friend, beside me with cheap vending machine coffee. I started learning industrial safety, engineering basics, process improvement. For the first time, I wasn't surviving. I was building. One night, I heard a small voice behind me. "Sarah?" I turned and froze. "Lily." My little sister stood there clutching a backpack, eyes wide. "I didn't know you took classes here," she murmured. "I didn't know you did," I replied. She hesitated, then whispered, "Mom doesn't know I'm taking this program. She just wants me to stick to law school, but I wanted to see what else was out there." A hairline fracture in the golden child image. Her eyes softened. I saw the Mother's Day message.
"I wanted to say something."
Mark told me not to stir things up. I'm sorry." I swallowed hard. "It wasn't your job to fix it."
She sat beside me.
"Mom keeps asking why you're overreacting. She's embarrassed you blocked her." I laughed bitterly. She's embarrassed that I'm embarrassed. That tracks. Then Lily whispered something that cracked me open. "For what it's worth, I think what you're doing is brave." It was the first family validation I'd received in years. Months later, Rachel pulled me into her office. "You've been running circles around half the people here. I want you as a line supervisor. More pay. More responsibility. You in?" I said yes. Not for Mom. Not for anyone. For me. That night, I wrote a long, raw piece about blue-collar dignity and family shame. Mia told me to publish it anonymously on a blog platform.
So I did.
Title: Successful Kids Only, When Your Mother Invites Everyone But You. It exploded. Thousands of views. Comments pouring in. I thought I was alone. My mom did this to me too. Cutting contact saved my life. Then, one of my mother's church friends shared it publicly. Caption: This broke my heart. Parents, don't do this to your kids. And just like that, the story reached my mother's world. A voicemail from an unknown number came the next day. "Sarah, it's Mom. People keep sending me some online story. I hope you're not involved in making our family look bad. We need to talk." Not. "Are you okay? Did I hurt you?" "Just reputational damage." I saved the voicemail, added it to receipts. I was invited to speak at a local storytelling night, theme: When Family Crosses the Line. I almost said no.
Mia insisted.
So I stood on stage, mic shaking in my hand, and spoke my truth out loud. My mother called me embarrassing because I chose factory work.
Gasps.
Head nods.
Tears.
When I read the phrase, "successful kids only," the room collectively winced. I ended with, "Family should not be built on humiliation. You can love where you come from and still walk away from what's killing you." The crowd erupted. I walked home lighter. Until Lily texted me. "Mom saw your talk on someone's Instagram story. She's not handling it well." Suddenly her perfect facade had cracks, and everyone could see inside. A year passed. My blog grew. My career grew. My peace grew. Then one night, Lily called with a tremor in her voice. "Mom wants your number. She's behind on bills. The house needs repairs. Medical stuff. She says if you cared, you'd help. I closed my eyes. Old Sarah, young Sarah, would have caved instantly. But Lily whispered, I don't think you owe her anything. This is just consequences. The spell broke fully then. I told Lily, please tell her I hope she gets the help she needs. But I'm not her backup plan. She chose who counted when she was on top. Days later, a package arrived for my mother. Inside, an old jewelry box with my childhood initials, and a letter that apologized without apologizing. The worst line? After everything I did for you, the least you could do is help me now. I wrote a final, simple message for Lily to pass along. I wish her peace, but I will not return to a role that destroyed me. For the first time, my mother didn't push. She knew I meant it. The irony is rich. My mother erased me to protect her image, but the world saw the truth anyway. She tried to shame me into silence, but my story became a lifeline for thousands. She wanted to celebrate only her successful kids, but I built a life she never saw coming, one rooted in pride, community, boundaries, and self-respect. And in the end, when she finally needed help, I realized something. You can care about someone without setting yourself on fire to keep them warm. I didn't punish her. I didn't expose her name. I simply let her live with her choices, the same way I now live freely with mine. That is the quietest, cleanest revenge there is. Family doesn't end when blood stops flowing. It ends when respect does. And sometimes the bravest thing you'll ever do is walk away from the people who taught you to shrink. If you're listening and you feel unseen, you're not alone. You're not invisible. And you're not the failure in your story. If this story hit home, smash that like button. Subscribe for more stories where justice, quiet or loud, finally finds its way. Comment below. Would you go back to a parent who erased you? Or would you choose your own freedom? Thanks for watching Revenge Read. And remember, your worth is not up for debate.